What are Banneton baskets and why do we need them for sourdough baking? Plus, I'm gonna share with you my little secret on how to use them. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a bigger piece of cling film, and then I'm gonna oil one side of this cling film. I usually just oil my hands and go over it, but this time I'm gonna use the brush. Whichever way you want to do it yourself is entirely up to you. So we're oiling one side so the dough would not stick to it. Then I'm gonna line the Banneton basket with the oil side of the cling film facing up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut a second piece of cling film, and this is usually a much smaller size piece. It's just enough to cover the top of the dough, not to dry out. So I'm gonna make sure, and this is very important, to oil the second part of the cling film, just to ensure that it wouldn't stick to the dough, because it did happen to me recently and it went horribly wrong. Now I'm gonna get the dough out of the fridge. It has been sitting there and fermenting for nearly 20 hours. I'm gonna get onto the worktop. Try to degas it in a very gentle way. You can do some stretches and folds. Try to stretch it slightly. I don't do kneading, but for that I'm gonna need some oil on my hands, just to make sure the dough won't stick as much. So you can see me doing some stretches and folds. It's very difficult to shape such a high hydration dough, so that will go straight now into a Banneton basket. And I'm gonna now go ahead and cover the second piece of cling film. All part is touching the dough, and that will go now into a fridge for a couple of hours. It's a very quick cleanup with a dough scraper. And now we're gonna go ahead and have a look at our sourdough starter. So I'm very excited because today I'm gonna be moving my starter into a new jar, which was cleaned. And now I'm gonna move everything that is remaining of the starter into a jar, and then I'm gonna go ahead and feed with fresh flour and water. I'm gonna be baking so much more, so I do need a much bigger volume of the starter. So if you have watched any of my videos before, you probably might already know that I do not measure my ingredients when I feed sourdough starter. I simply focus on checking the consistency of the starter. You don't want your starter to be too thick, and you don't want your starter to be too watery. So you can see me adding extra water because it was too much of a dry flour left in the jar. So I add and focus on a pancake batter consistency in a sourdough starter. That's how I know that it is a good consistency. Okay, so that's been fed, and now I'm gonna cover it and leave it to rest until tomorrow, when we're gonna go ahead and bake a new recipe. Sourdough has been fermented for 4 hours in the fridge, and now I'm gonna be getting this out of the fridge onto the worktop and get ready to bake it. My oven is getting preheated, and I have a tray of water in the bottom of the oven to create a steam. So I'm gonna put this tray on the top of the Banneton basket, flip it over, and remove the bread out of the basket. The cling film has to be removed before baking. I'm gonna sprinkle some flour, And then with lame, which is like a blade sharp knife, I'm gonna score it at 90-degree angle. I saw someone doing that the other day and I thought I will try it myself. I ended up adding few quick cuts in the dough just for decorations, but no other purpose. Now I'm gonna bake this bread for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, I'm gonna be removing this bread out of the oven and have a look. It has a really lovely big ear. It looks very nice, rustic, and I can't wait to try it. So I let my bread to cool down, was about 2 hours. Sometimes I leave it overnight. So let us go ahead and cut it and have a look how it looks inside. It's looking pretty good. I love to see these nice big holes, and which is quite even, and also quite a lot of pumpkin seeds. And I must say that I did try the bread. It tasted very crusty and absolutely delicious.